lent out millions of dollars to furlough federal workers during the shutdown, and now that money's coming due.
We've worked with our credit unions and banks to offer financial assistance and payment flexibility for Marylanders who have been affected by this shutdown.
That was Governor Wes Moore as the federal shutdown became the longest in U.S. history.
While there are steps that we are all eager to take because it means protecting Marylanders, we are still heartbroken that we even have to take this in the first place.
Maryland lent over $2.4 million to government workers impacted by the shutdown. So far, the state Labor Department has only recovered 4% of those loans, even as yet another shutdown deadline looms at the end of January. Barbara Britt, WMAL and WMAL.com.
Patriots wide receiver Stephon Diggs is charged with felony strangulation and misdemeanor assault for allegedly strangling his personal chef during an argument over her pay this month. His attorney calls the allegations unsubstantiated and says Diggs offered to make the alleged victim whole financially. Patriots say in a statement they're aware of the accusations but support Diggs. Up next, traffic and weather.
The Paul Steffen Home has saved hundreds of women and babies since it began its Save Babies One Mom at a Time mission. To save the baby, we must save the mom too. Please donate today. PaulSteffenHome.org. PaulSteffenHome.org.
It's truck and SUV season at Widget Auto Sales. Just look at the rows of trucks and the rows of SUVs ready for winter, like a Ford F-150 XLT, yours for just $37,999. How about a 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander, just $20,999? Or a beautiful Chevy truck Z71, yours for $26,999. Rows of trucks and rows of SUVs during truck and SUV season at the veteran-owned Widget Auto Sales, the used car leader in out of Washington Street, or online at widgetautosales.com.
2 hours ago, Kyle arrived at the bar.
Hey, what's everyone drinking?
30 minutes ago, Kyle got his friends another round of drinks.
Cheers!
5 minutes ago, Kyle decided to drive home drunk. A minute ago, a law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
A chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Bermuda doesn't flaunt luxury. It lets it unfold quietly, effortlessly, in the hush between the light and sea. Here, time slows to a crawl, and something deeper stirs. It's all closer than you can imagine, and beyond anything you felt before. Bermuda is Bermuda. One of one.
Here's Rochelle Murray in the Hadid Perfect Cleaning Traffic Center.
The earlier accident on westbound 66 before Business 234 has now been cleared, but traffic is still slow from 28. All earlier incidents on 95 cleared, but it is still slow southbound between Lorton and Woodbridge and from Dale City in towards Quantico. And in Oxon Hill, the accident on southbound 210 at Palmer Road now cleared from the roadway, as well as the accident on Crane Highway at Missouri Avenue. On the Beltway Inner Loop, just some delays from the Georgetown Pike to the Clara Barton Parkway and from 355 to Georgia Avenue. And on the outer loop, a bit of slow traffic from Telegraph Road to the Wilson Bridge. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Partly cloudy and breezy this evening and into the overnight. Wake up temperatures tomorrow 18 to 25. We're near 40 degrees tomorrow, trending dry. I'm 7 News meteorologist Steve Root in the First Alert Weather Center.
Right now, 30 in Washington. I'm Heather Curtis on WMAL.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Mark Levin. District building, we've once again made contact with our leader, Mark Levin.
My name is Larry O'Connor. I'm sitting in for Mark Levin here. It's the 30th day of December. As we close out 2025, ring in 2026, we've done a lot over the last couple of days looking back in the rearview mirror. What a year it was. I've got a little bit more on the immigration numbers. We celebrated it last night. You cannot say it enough what a miracle it is. And it isn't a miracle. It's just good governance. It's actually following the law, enforcing the law. You know, it's amazing what you can get done when you actually have a mandate from the American people and you have the will to do it. And by the way, you recognize that it's the right thing to do. It's just that simple. You shut down the border so we don't have any more illegal crossings. That also shuts down the drugs coming across the border in a significant way. And we've got some great numbers showing the results of that. Drug overdoses absolutely plummeting right now. huge benefit this year from shutting down the drugs coming across the border. It's not nearly as ubiquitous as it was. And then add to that the deportation of people who are in the country illegally because, well, they've broken the law. 70% of the people who have been deported by DHS were criminals with a criminal record and criminal convictions. 70%. Now, you may look at that and say, oh my gosh, that's terrible. They deported 30% who hadn't broken the law. Well, yeah, I'll get to that in a second. 2.5 million deported altogether. 1.9 million self-deported. Those are people who recognize they had broken the law, recognize that it's not going to go well for them, took the offer from the Department of Homeland Security, went home, and now if their nose is clean and they actually do want to come to this country legally in the right way, they have a chance to do that. So that's incredible right there. Add to that the 600,000 who have been apprehended and deported through the system. Of those 600,000, 70% have criminal convictions or pending criminal charges just here in the United States, let alone criminal convictions in other countries. By the way, that's enough to be deported. Having a conviction in another country, that's enough. But then that other 30%, you're wringing your hands about it. I understand. You've been well trained by academia and late night talk shows, and certainly by the mainstream corporate legacy media. That's terrible. 30% of the people deported and sent back home didn't break the law. Well, hold on there. First of all, of course they broke the law. They broke the law by crossing our border illegally in the first place. And I know you're going to hear from really, really smart academics on television or in the halls of Congress that say, well, actually, that's just a civil offense. That's a lie. That's a lie. There are certain types of violations of our immigration code which would be considered a civil violation. That doesn't mean that there's not a penalty for it, and it doesn't mean you don't face deportation, depending on the circumstance. But if you're here on a student visa, let's say, and your visa expires and you stay in the country, you could probably make an argument that that's a civil offense. If you're here on a business visa or a tourist visa and the same thing happens, sure. Many of those cases are, in fact, civil offenses, but you've got to assume that you didn't break any other laws. So, for instance, if you came here on a commercial visa or a business visa to do business and work here in the country, and that visa expires, if you're still working, well, that's a felony. So, sure, being in the country, theoretically, is a civil offense. But if you just stay here and you don't do anything and you don't take advantage of any government benefits, if you don't actually work or make any money and you're just sort of sitting there like a lump, sure, okay, civil offense. But most of the people who stay here past the time that their visa expired, they've got a job, they're working. They're continuing to function and utilize what our government and our country and our citizens have provided for people who are here legally. They're breaking the law each and every time they do that. That goes well beyond the civil offense of being in the country illegally. But let's just cut to the freaking chase here. Because when we talk about illegal immigration and we talk about the millions and millions and millions of people who came into this country under Joe Biden just in the last 4 years, not even talking about the people that came under Obama and under Clinton and under Bush, we know what we're talking about. We're talking about the millions of people to the tune of tens and 20,000 a day, a couple 250,000 a month. They crossed our border illegally and they stayed illegally. And that, my friends, is not a civil offense. That is a criminal offense. So when your liberal sister-in-law at your New Year's Eve party this weekend tries to play that game, just say, you, with all due respect, don't know what the hell you're talking about. Crossing our border illegally and staying here under false pretenses is a crime. It is a criminal act, not a civil offense, a criminal act. They are splitting hairs and parsing, and they're playing word games when they say, well, being an illegal immigrant is just a civil offense. Nope, that's only that very small handful of people who I just described that overstay a visa, et cetera, et cetera. When you cross our border illegally, you do one of two things. You run from the Border Patrol and you hide and you stay here, that you're a criminal. Or you get encountered by Border Patrol And the only way you're allowed to stay here is if you lie and say that you're seeking asylum. But that's a lie, and you know it's a lie. Because eventually, when you have your hearing, in 8 years, the judge will say, no, you're not eligible for asylum. Go home. And at that point, you'll have Jake Tapper saying, but they've been here for 8 years and they're contributing members of the society. Well, they lied. They lied when they claimed asylum. They never had the right to be here. Criminal offense, get out. So 70% of those who have been arrested and deported are in fact criminals, as promised. The other 30%, what were they doing? Okay, well, if they don't fall into the category I just gave you, they're doing something else. You see, ICE is not going out randomly and stopping people on the streets or in a Home Depot parking lot or wherever, Disneyland, and saying, hey, I don't like the way you look. Show me your papers. And if you don't have any, I'm sending you to El Salvador. That's not what's going on here. Department of Homeland Security and ICE, along with their coordination with local law enforcement officials when the locality is cooperating, they have tips on criminals, people who are A, in the country illegally, and B, either have a criminal record here in this country, have a criminal record in their home country, or they're suspected of breaking the law in this country. ICE goes out, they find them. They go to where they are, whether it's in a parking lot at Home Depot or a Lowe's, or whether it's in some home that's got 8 families living in it in South Central LA, or wherever it is, working at some agricultural concern in the South Central Valley of California. They go where they know there are criminals who are wanted for crimes. What happens when law enforcement goes into a big room where there is a suspected criminal in that room? What happens? Do they tell everybody, hey, you can all go about your business, do whatever you want. We're only looking for this one guy, okay? No, that's not what they do. They go into the room, and let's say there's 20 people in there, and they say, everybody, hands up behind your head. Because you know one of those people is a criminal. Everybody, down on your knees, hands above your head. And one by one, they check each person's ID. Now, if these statistics bear out of those 20 people, 14 of them were criminals. So what about the other 6? What about that 30%? What about the other 6? Well, you were hanging out with a criminal. In fact, you were hanging out with a couple of criminals, pal. And I'm sorry, but that's what happens. So when law enforcement comes into a house because they're trying to find a bad guy, and as they're searching the other people who are in the room, they find that each of them have, they're carrying illegal weapons, or they've got, drugs, or they've got other contraband or other evidence in their pockets of committing a crime. They're not going to get arrested for that. Oh, well, yeah, you're carrying an illegal weapon here. But you know what? We were only looking for these guys over here. The 70%, that's the only ones we were looking for. For the rest of you guys, even though there's evidence right there in your pocket of a crime, you can go. Is that how it works? That is not how it works. So that 30% that also got deported, well, they were here illegally. They might not have been targeted. They may not have been on the list of people who had criminal records, but they violated one law. They were in our country illegally. They got caught up in the raid. They were hanging out with criminals. They got arrested. They got deported. Boo-hoo. Yeah, at this point, I don't know what more to say to illegal immigrants in this country, especially those people who just entered the country in the last 6-7 years. But honestly, anybody in this country illegally, I don't know what more to say to you at this point. The Department of Homeland Security, the United States government right now is offering you like $3,000, no questions asked. You take that cash, put it in your pocket. You also get a free plane ticket home to your country. And if you want to, then you can apply to come here legally. And if you're still here now, that's been a year now that's been in place. And 2 million of your pals have taken advantage of that program. You've had a year to do it. If you are still in this country in the year of our Lord, 2026, knowing that we are now enforcing these laws, knowing that you've been living on borrowed time, knowing that you should have left years ago, knowing that you never should have legally been here in the first place. And I recognize it. Bush never enforced these laws. Obama never enforced these laws. Biden rolled out the red carpet and begged us to come in. I get it. You're right. They're gone now. There's a new president. And for the last year, you've got to be a complete ignoramus to not know that these laws are now being enforced. You know you shouldn't be here. And now we're handing you a few $1,000s and a free ticket home? If you are still here in the year of our Lord 2026 and you are apprehended, I don't know what to say to you. But it's on you now, okay? It's on you. It's over. Go home. Take the deal now. Because it ain't going to last. And it's not going to be pretty. And it's not law enforcement's fault for enforcing the law. So that's one of the big victory laps from 2025. Now, what do you want from 2026? What are your resolutions for this president, for this government, for this Congress, or maybe the governor of your state? Let your voice be heard. New Year's resolutions coming up next, 877-381-3811. I'm Larry O'Connor. It's the Mark Levin Show.
Mark Levin.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
As a consumer, you can carry the success or failure of businesses in the palm of your hand. Their success can depend on your decision to spend money with them or their competitor. Well, my friends at Pure Talk would like to say thank you from the bottom of their hearts for choosing Pure Talk for your wireless needs. Because of you, they've had a record-breaking year. Because of your generosity through their Roundup for Charity program, they've been able to donate over $500,000 to America's Warrior Partnership, who stands on the front lines of helping to prevent veteran suicide. Your patronage has allowed Pure Talk to donate 1,000 hand-sewn Made in America flags to your fellow veterans. And when you choose Pure Talk as your wireless provider, you help Pure Talk support American jobs right here in our country. Like I said, as a consumer, you have the power to make or break companies. With the money the big wireless guys throw around on advertising, you're inundated with offers everywhere you look. So from everyone in the Pure Talk family, thank you for your trust, and God bless you.
The Paul Steffen Home has saved hundreds of women and babies since it began its Save Babies One Mom at a Time mission. To save the baby, we must save the mom too. Please donate today. PaulSteffenHome.org. PaulSteffenHome.org.
It's truck and SUV season at Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader. Just look at the rows of trucks and the rows of SUVs ready for winter, like a Ford F-150 XLT, yours for just $37,999. How about a 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander, just $20,999? Or a beautiful Chevy Truck Z71, yours for $26,999. Rows of trucks and rows of SUVs during truck and SUV season at the veteran-owned Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader in out of Washington Street, or online at widgetautosales.com.
This ad is brought to you by GSK. Have you considered starting Ojjaara momelotinib for your appropriate patients? Review the efficacy of Ojjaara, including data from our head-to-head trials, Simplify One and Momentum, at startojjaara.com. That's startojjaara.com.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Ever wish buying a home was as easy as clicking your heels 3 times? At Northern Credit Union, we know there's no place like home. We offer first-time buyer programs with no closing costs, VA, USDA, seasonal, new construction, and many other loan options. If you're dreaming of home ownership, Northern will help you get Getting approved is quick and easy, and with our meet or beat rate guarantee, you know you're getting the lowest rate possible. Our team is here to help you along the yellow brick road to home ownership with honest advice, personalized service, and support every step of the way. Click your heels or just call or text, because at Northern, there's no place like home. Northern Credit Union, mortgage magic in the real world. Call or text 315-782-0155 or apply online at mynorthern.com. Federally insured, NCUA, equal housing opportunity.
You know, I don't bring companies onto this program unless I believe and trust them, because you, my audience, you're family to me. And when it comes to talking about hard-earned savings and retirement, I take that responsibility very seriously. That's why I choose Monetary Gold. Monetary Gold is the go-to precious metals company for many Americans who are concerned about rising costs, uncertainty, and the long-term strength of the dollar. They focus on real gold and real silver, products tied to real market value. They've been doing this for 26 years. Through market crashes and recessions, economic upheavals, they've become one of the most respected names in the precious metals business. Call Monetary Gold now at 877-NOW-GOLD. That's 877-NOW-GOLD, or visit marklovesgold.com. Monetary Gold is a company built on trust and built to last. 877-NOW-GOLD, or visit marklovesgold.com. Results can vary. Always consult with your financial and tax advisors before investing.
Making sense of your world. There are a lot of things that really tick me off. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
I just banned that
WMAL. Making sense of world events. Because those who don't know history are doomed to repeat it. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
I'm having the time of my life doing it too, by the way. George is in Boston, Massachusetts. Let's see if we can do this time on line one. Hello, George. Thanks for calling. I'm Larry. Hey, George. George. You know what? You probably hit your mute button while you're sitting on. There you go. Hey, go ahead, George.
Hey, how's it going, Larry? Great show.
Thank you, man.
And we just have to look at it this way. California has been invaded for the last 60 years. New York's been invaded. These countries, these or enforce them because the governor and the mayors of these cities don't want ICE to be helped out. So they're basically on their own out there. But I feel that people should not, when the invasion comes in their backyard, they complain. But California's been invaded for the last 50, 60 years.
Yeah.
And now it's time we have to rule.
Absolutely, George. Listen, obviously it's time. And that the president made this the centerpiece of his election. He won overwhelmingly, and now it's getting done. I got to tell you, though, and I get it. I understand the purpose of using the term invasion. And for all intents and purposes, this is an invasion of sorts. Here's the problem, though. Is it really an invasion of California when California has invited these people? They have elected people who have welcomed them with open arms. The last governor of California that actually won election fighting back against illegal immigration was Pete Wilson in the 90s. He won the election because he was going nuts about immigration. They said he was racist, but back in the good old days, Pete Wilson was racist, right? But since then, for 30 years, they've had governors who have looked the other way, if not encouraged people to come here illegally. Is it still an invasion?
Well, no longer, because the invaders have now taken power. They're being welcomed in there. We know that.
They've been welcomed.
When in New York City, Adams welcomed them in there, and they want this invasion because let's face it, a lot of conservatives have left New York and California. They got to keep their population up too, and for congressional districts and for electoral votes. Well, for me, this is an overthrow of my country. If you bring people in here illegally and stuff. But listen, Larry, the 65 Immigration Act has got to go. Race quotas go, and we'll have the hard left going crazy. Because a lot of America, we're now foreigners in our own country.
George,
third worlders.
So that is your New Year's resolution, I'm guessing. All right, well, let's see if that happens. Here's the thing, and I appreciate the call, George. Merry New Year to you, and good luck with your Patriots. We're definitely back in the game again. Let me tell you something. This next year, we might not see repeal of the 65 Immigration Act. But there could be two decisions that are made that could just upend everything that you've known and that the left has exploited about immigration. Number one, birthright citizenship. Supreme Court's going to hear it. We'll see what they do. I'm not optimistic, but there's a chance. And number two, frankly, even more importantly, is the census question. Should non-citizens, and most specifically illegal immigrants, should they be counted to determine congressional representation? You take that away, you remove the census question from the equation, Democrats don't win another election as far as the eye can see. Because they've been counting, and listen, I know, because they count on their votes. Yes and no. Sure, there's rampant voter fraud, and absolutely non-citizens are voting, but you don't even need that. All you need is the congressional district, my friends. That's all you need. Right now, based on a warped interpretation of the Constitution, non-citizens and even illegal immigrants are being counted in the census. That's what's determining the congressional districts in any given state. That overwhelmingly benefits Democrats because of the illegal immigrants who are living in overwhelmingly blue states, so they are overrepresented in the House of Representatives. But even more so, that seat in the House of Representatives then translates to an electoral college vote. You change that, and California, Illinois, and New York could lose potentially, I think, between 5 and 10% of their electoral votes and the representation in Congress. And all you got to do to get it done is read the Constitution. More of your resolutions for Trump for 2026 next. It's Larry O'Connor, The Mark Levin Show.
Candles were lit on Bondi Beach by people of faith to celebrate a festival of lights, a festival from biblical times when the Jesus himself celebrated. But instead of light, there was darkness, fear, murder, hatred showing itself at a time meant for prayer and rejoicing. Times like this remind us that even with a ceasefire in Israel, Jewish people are being targeted simply because of their faith. And times like this remind us why the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews exists. To stand in the gap, providing safety and security to God's people. The International Fellowship of Christians and Jews brings together Christians and Jews to be a light to suffering Jews in Israel, the former Soviet Union, or wherever the needs are greatest. Your gift today will help provide the security that God's people so desperately need. To rush your tax-deductible gift, please call 844-866-IFCJ. That's 844-866-IFCJ, or online at levinforthefellowship.org. That's LEVIN for thefellowship.org.
We're found in Greenbelt. Traffic is slow from NASA Goddard to 197. In Montgomery County, in the Beltway, stop and go from Connecticut Avenue to the Mormon Temple. Into Virginia on the inner loop of the Beltway. McLean, traffic is slow from Georgetown Pike to the Clara Martin Parkway. On westbound 66 in Manassas, accident has the right shoulder blocked at Sudley Road. In 95 northbound in Falmouth, it's slow from Centerport Parkway to Dumfries Road. And now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Tonight, increasing clouds, temperatures in the 20s, feels like temps in the teens. Tomorrow, potential morning flurries, otherwise partly sunny, highs in the lower 40s.
It's truck and SUV season at Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader. Just look at the rows of trucks and the rows of SUVs ready for winter, like a Ford F-150 XLT, yours for just $37,999. How about a 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander, just $20,999? Or a beautiful Chevy truck Z71, yours for $26,999. Rows of trucks and rows of SUVs during truck and SUV season at the veteran-owned Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader in out of Washington Street, or online at widgetautosales.com.
Ever wish buying a home was as easy as clicking your heels 3 times? At Northern Credit Union, we know there's no place like home. We offer first-time buyer programs with no closing costs, VA, USDA, seasonal, new construction, and many other loan options. If you're dreaming of home ownership, Northern will help you get into your new home in 3 clicks of your heels. Getting approved is quick and easy, and with our meet or beat rate guarantee, you know you're getting the lowest rate possible. Our team is here to help you along the yellow brick road to home ownership with honest advice, personalized service, and support every step of the way. Click your heels or just call or text, because at Northern, there's no place like home. Northern Credit Union, mortgage magic in the real world. Call or text 315-782-0155 or apply online at mynorthern.com. Federally insured, NCUA, equal housing opportunity.
Do you want free internet forever? Yeah, we thought so. That's why Spectrum is giving you just that. Free fiber-powered internet forever when you switch and get 4 mobile lines from Spectrum. No internet bills, no taxes, no late fees. Just fast fiber-powered internet. Call 833-901-0178 to find out how. But hurry, this deal won't last forever. Once more, 833-901-0178 or visit spectrum.com/freeforever to learn more.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver Card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds?
Birds?
What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus a partridge in a pear tree?
Sure, but why would anyone want that?
The song was very convincing.
Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Tired of holiday spending? Try TikTok's Slash and Free. Pick products, share your link, and slash the price down to 0. Free items, free shipping. Open TikTok, search /free, and start slashing today.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Making sense of your world.
Greatly appreciated.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
I love listening to you.
Making sense of the news. WMAL. More than just politics, because laughter is the best medicine. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free. You're listening to Denali, the Great One. The Great One, and you can call in now. 877-381-3811.
I'm Larry O'Connor, not the Great One, but I love the Great One, Mark Levin. So I'm sitting in for Mark. Thanks for tuning in. By the way, I'm the morning radio host on WMAL in Washington, D.C. If you're, wanting a change of pace for your morning talk radio, I start at 5 a.m. Eastern. You can find us at WMAL. I'm on the air with my co-hosts, Julie Gunlock and Patrice Anbuchan. We got a pretty good show going there. Been doing it for quite some time. I also do a daily live stream podcast, video show for Town Hall Media. You can catch it on all the platforms that you like to watch your video shows. Just search my name, Larry. And in fact, you don't even have to remember the last name. The show's called Larry. Apparently, there aren't a lot of Larrys out there. I'd love to see you in our audience at some point. But while we're doing the Mark Levin show, I'm asking you a question. Do you have any resolutions that you'd like Donald Trump to make? Or maybe it's your resolution for President Trump going into 2026, building off the momentum of an incredible 2025. How about Sherry in Richland, Washington? That's line 3. Sherry, thanks for calling. I'm Larry. Oh, how about Jim in Aiken, South Carolina? That's line 1. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, I want to. Here's what I'd like to see all the Republican governors do in light of all these illegals behind steering wheels of big rigs and vehicles. I think they should make a state law, because it is a privilege, not a federal right, that all licenses will no longer be recognized in the states that are involved in sanctuary cities, involving giving ICE a difficult time of opposition, i.e. California, Colorado, just to name 2 of the states. Mm-hmm. And the only exemptions that should be made should be active military or retired, those who have served our nation, or active duty military, or anyone that's involved as a first responder. Like if I was from California, I was driving in my state, South Carolina, and I got stopped. My car gets impounded. Best case scenario, I lose my car and I get a hefty fine, even if I'm a lawful American citizen. and
all right.
This will put the pressure on the states, because look, it's out of control.
I understand.
And I'm tired of seeing people being killed, and drastic problems require drastic solutions.
I like your creative thinking. Just so I can go, did you say commercial driver's license or all driver's license?
All driver's licenses, because even though it's commercial driver's calling the big stories that we see in the news, I drive not commercial, but I drive a small vehicle for a living, and I see a lot of people that, well, they appear to be not from this country, I'll just say, and they appear to not be abiding by traffic laws, like they're ignorant on traffic laws. So the bottom line is we got to do something about non-citizens.
We do have to do something about non-citizens, and I actually think the federal government is doing a pretty good job with it so far. And listen, I appreciate the call, and I appreciate the outside the box thinking. Let me say a few things about it, though. First of all, I don't know what that person doesn't appear to be from our country means, because you can't tell someone's immigration status based on how they're dressed or how they look or even how they speak. All right. And by the way, if we're judging people on how they drive, trust me, there's some people who look like they go all the way back to the Mayflower and they're pretty lousy drivers. All right. So let's just dispense with that for a quick second. Secondly, I think you might have some constitutional problems in terms of the interstate commerce law and respecting other states' laws over California driver's license. Because if you did that, imagine if the left started doing that when they're in charge. What if Democrat states started not accepting the driver's license from people in red states because we have more robust Second Amendment respect than a blue state? Wow, we don't. Yeah, you're driving in our state with an Oklahoma driver's license. We pull you over, your car's going to be impounded. For all I know, you've got an AR-15 in the trunk of your car. We don't allow that here in Minnesota. You see what we're doing here? Again, I enjoy the spirit of what you're saying, but we got to do this the right way, and we got to do it at the federal level, and we got to do pretty much what this president is doing. I appreciate the call. Also, not for nothing, but my children are half Asian descent. I would hate for somebody to see their driving and say, well, clearly they're from another country. Listen, they act like they're from another planet sometimes, but not because of their racial or ethnic makeup. All right, how about Michael? Line 5 brings us Michael in Tampa, Florida. Michael, thanks for calling. You're next up. I'm Larry O'Connor.
Thank you.
Do you have a resolution? Michael, let's go. You're on.
Yeah.
Right there again.
Oh, okay.
You got to turn your radio down, brother.
Are you there?
Yeah, let's go.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
That's all right.
Hey, long time listener, big fan, first time caller.
Excellent. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, I had a question for you, Mark.
I'm not Mark. I'm Larry. I'm filling in for Mark.
Sorry, Larry.
That's all right. Don't be sorry.
Long. I just got home from work.
Yeah, but if it's a question for Mark, I'm not going to be able to help you much.
Okay, well, Larry, I have a question for you.
All right.
Do you think that Netanyahu will ever be brought up on war crime charges
No way.
of genocide and ethnic cleansing of Palestine?
Well, first of all, I'll reject the premise because there has not been any genocide or ethnic cleansing of Palestine, such as it is. Let me ask you a question. If you think that Benjamin Netanyahu is a war criminal and he wants to murder every Arab within shouting distance of the Knesset or Jerusalem or anywhere within the Israeli borders, can I ask you something? How come all of the Arabs and Palestinians and people who are non-Jews and Muslims and Christians seem to be just fine living within the borders of Israel? Wouldn't he be killing them? Wouldn't he be ethnically cleansing Israel instead of worrying about Gaza? Have you thought about that?
No.
No, answer the question. Answer the question. You said Netanyahu is guilty of war crimes and ethnic cleansing. Why would he wait until October 8th to ethnically cleanse Gaza when he could have started murdering every Arab in the streets of Tel Aviv, where they work and live and vote and have more freedoms than in any other Arab country in the Middle East? If he wanted to ethnically cleanse, why did he wait until October 8th and just focus on Gaza? Can you answer that?
Was a planned fraud.
Oh, really?
And you know that, and I know that.
Do I? Do I know that? Listen, buddy, it sounds like you started celebrating the new year a little early, so I'm going to let you get back to your whatever it is you're drinking. And I appreciate it. I'm hoping that you're intoxicated. I am hoping that you are mentally disabled because of the alcohol you've been consuming, because I don't want to live in a world where somebody can be sane and rational and sober and think the way that you do. Outrageous. Yeah, that's never understood it. Listen, I don't want to wade into Mark's fights because Mark's fine with fighting his fights himself, and I certainly don't want to waste your time fighting with other talk show hosts or podcasters. That's a waste. I hate doing that, and I don't do it. But on the issue at hand, that Netanyahu is a war criminal, it's amazing. He's a war criminal, and he's guilty of ethnically cleansing Gaza. And it all started on October 8th. Why? Why did it start on October 8th? Why didn't he do it before? Why didn't he do it within his borders? He didn't have to launch any kind of offensive into Gaza. He's got more Palestinians living in the state of Israel that he lets work and lets have freedom of speech and freedom of religion and vote. They're allowed to have bank accounts. They're allowed to do everything that a Jew can't do in Gaza or the West Bank. If he was a racist, filthy, anti-Muslim monster who just wants to kill everyone that isn't a Jew, why doesn't he kill them in Israel? Why doesn't he purge Israel of all those people? You know, the way Jews and Christians have been purged from the Arab nations right next door. Yeah, they're really good at it. You try to find yourself a Christian in some of those countries that used to have a huge population of Christians. They're not there anymore. So why hasn't Netanyahu done that in Israel? And when everyone's, he's starting in Gaza and he started on the 8th. Really, let me ask you something. What happened on the 7th? Do you remember what happened on the 7th? What would we have done to a neighboring country that slaughtered our innocents going to a concert? What would America have done? And what would we have thought of some country on the other side of the planet lecturing us for retaliating against the monsters who murdered our citizens? I don't know how Mark puts up with it sometimes. All right. How about David in Morristown, New Jersey on line 6? Hey, David, thanks for calling. It's a tough act to follow.
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
I can. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Happy New Year, everybody. I would hope that President Trump will fire Bondi. I want to give an example of how, as Attorney General of Florida, her chief of staff kept George Zimmerman in jail until trial. Now, that was primarily because Eric Holder put pressure on Bondi. If the old expression that you can keep or you can indict a ham sandwich, I don't expect anybody in the Russiagate, the lady from Hawaii, she was the one that was on the no-fly list, and she herself has said all this information and evidence, I would expect some indictments. I have no illusions whatsoever about anybody getting convicted, but for all the scandals and then to mess up the Comey perp walk, Bondi is either incompetent or colluding. I can't figure a third option here. And it's nothing personal. If she doesn't like the job, she can quit. I'm of the opinion that if there aren't any indictments next year, there aren't going to be any indictments at all. That's a shame because a lot of innocent people were dragged through the mud. Tulsi Gabbard, that was her name. Remember when she was on the no-fly list?
Yeah.
Enough is enough. Where are the indictments? Thank you.
You know what, brother? I think you speak for tens of millions. And listen, I give this administration and the members of the administration the benefit of the doubt whenever possible. But I am surprised myself that we haven't seen a little bit more action in certain areas. And one wonders exactly what the holdup is. And at some point, one doesn't have to wonder anymore. 877-381-3811. We are making New Year's resolutions for the Trump administration going into next year. And let's bring in Omar in Tyler, Texas. You're on line 4. Tyler, Texas. Omar, you are next up. I'm Larry O'Connor in for Mark Levin.
Yes, sir.
What do you think?
Yes, sir. I just wanted to mention about the young journalist that you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, Nick Shirley.
Yes, sir. And I want to applaud you for reporting on it and all that you guys do on the conservative side. But, you know, as Mark will probably agree that the way he puts it, a lot of times the left is doing another stupid, dumb thing by attacking this guy. Of course, they do cause risk, but at the same time, think about it. They're giving him $1 million advertising. Let's maybe all the conservative side of the house just really get behind this guy and promote him and let him take advantage of all of this positive stuff, because they're just putting him on a platform to get more well known. And if he was under, like under your wing, or the other conservative talk shows, if y'all guys took him under your wing, he's your next generation.
I agree. Listen, I hope you're right. You're right. And he is getting a name for himself, and that's a good thing. It really is. And he seems to be, for a 23-year-old, handling it pretty well. Thank you for the call. I appreciate it. Listen, I was there working with Andrew Breitbart when James O'Keefe came out of nowhere with his Acorn expose. And for those of you who know James O'Keefe and everything that he's done since then, that was 2009. September of 2009, first week of September, when we launched a brand new website called Big Government. And the very first story that we had was the Acorn expose. If you know James O'Keefe, but you don't know the Acorn story, well, you don't know the origins of James. Go and search it out. And you're right. It's true. It is that all of the criticism of this guy, Nick Shirley, just like the criticism of James O'Keefe, just like the criticism of Andrew Breitbart when he was in his prime, it all gets their name out there. It does bring clicks, and it brings attention, and it brings a lot of publicity, but it's not easy. I promise you, these are human beings. And I promise you, from being in the room with Andrew as it was all coming down, it's hell. I'm Larry O'Connor. It's the Mark Levin Show.
Mark Levin. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Maybe you haven't heard about us. We're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless has you paying for more data than you might need. Why? They might want you to cover the costs of younger people who do use all that data. If you're not using the data, you're probably being used. We've heard time and time again that some Big Wireless customers get stuck paying hundreds and even thousands more for years and years because they think it's hard to switch. Not with us. It takes just about 20 minutes and you can change your plan anytime without extra charges. We use the same towers as the big guys, so you'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Our plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
It's truck and SUV season at Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader. Just look at the rows of trucks and the rows of SUVs ready for winter, like a Ford F-150 XLT, yours for just $37,999. How about a 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander, just $20,999? Or a beautiful Chevy truck Z71, yours for $26,999. Rows of trucks and rows of SUVs during truck and SUV season at the veteran-owned Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader in out of Washington Street, or online at widgetautosales.com.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Ever wish buying a home was as easy as clicking your heels 3 times? At Northern Credit Union, we know there's no place like home. We offer first-time buyer programs with no closing costs, VA, USDA, seasonal, new construction, and many other loan options. If you're dreaming of home ownership, Northern will help you get into your new home in 3 clicks of your heels. Getting approved is quick and easy, and with our meet or beat rate guarantee, you know you're getting the lowest rate possible. Our team is here to help you along the yellow brick road to home ownership with honest advice, personalized service, and support every step of the way. Click your heels, or just call or text, because at Northern, there's no place like home. Northern Credit Union, Mortgage magic in the real world. Call or text 315-782-0155 or apply online at mynorthern.com. Federally insured, NCUA, equal housing opportunity.
New York moves fast. Your shoes should too. Saucony Lifestyle brings versatility to the streets with the Pro Grid Omni 9, Ride Millennium, and Guide 7. Comfort, style, and heritage made for your city hustle. Find these Sauconys now at your local mall or on Saucony.com.
Using my GI Bill taught me I can do anything, and seeing me graduate taught my daughter she can too. VA benefits cover tuition, housing, and supplies. Get what you earned. Visit choose.va.gov.
Not all veterans are eligible for this hyper amount of benefits mentioned here.
It's truck and SUV season at Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader. Just look at the rows of trucks and the rows of SUVs ready for winter, like a Ford F-150 XLT, yours for just $37,999. How about a 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander, just $20,999? Or a beautiful Chevy Truck Z71, yours for $26,999. Rows of trucks and rows of SUVs during truck and SUV season at the veteran-owned Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader in out of Washington Street, or online at widgetautosales.com.
You know, folks, Americans rely on credit cards for secure payments and seamless transactions. But consumers stand to lose it all with the Durbin-Marshall credit card mandate bill. Big government mandates favor corporate megastores and allow them to choose how your credit card is processed. They might end up using untested payment networks that could jeopardize your data security and rewards. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Visit guardyourcard.com to learn more. That's guardyourcard.com, paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
The internet, a place where your curiosity can flourish, unless online threats stop you. The internet is wonderful, but you need to protect yourself online. Protect yourself online with NordVPN. NordVPN encrypts your browsing. Its Threat Protection Pro feature helps you block malware, avoid phishing, and stop digital trackers. Get the best deal at NordVPN.com. Making sense of your world.
I agree with everything you're saying.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
I'm really wait for what's going on.
Making sense of the news. WMAL. Making sense of education. Because what's happening in your kid's school matters. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
This final, I think it's our final live show of the 2025 season. We'll be launching into the new year. Can't wait for it. Can't wait to get Mark back. But we're taking your New Year's resolutions right now. We got Chris in Marshall, Virginia. Chris, thanks for calling in. My name's Larry O'Connor.
Yes, indeed. We've spoken a myriad times before, sir. It's nice. It's an honor to speak to you.
Oh, great. Well, it's good to talk with you again, then.
I'm the guy of the front line of the heartland, Marshall, Virginia.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I'm so disheartened, man. I mean,
why?
You don't know how much this pains me, because I have been a huge, avid Trump supporter and advocate since the Golden Escalator. I've held countless events at my own residence and car parades and all kinds of stuff. And there have been 3 rapid fire instances that have just really, really disappointed me about President Donald J. Trump, and I am still extremely conservative and a huge MAGA enthusiast.
All right, tell me what your concern is.
The MAGA mover, I hope the MAGA movement survives this administration. The first one was before Rob Reiner's blood was dried. He posted that thing.
Yeah.
That Truth Social. That was so unnecessary. I saw an edited version of that where they crossed out all of the unnecessary hyperbole. And he would have knocked that out of the ballpark, man.
Yeah. Or just say nothing. Or just say nothing. But I agree with you.
Or just say nothing. Exactly. That wasn't an unforced error. He went onto the field in a game he wasn't even playing. And everybody says, oh, but Rob was so vicious. Show me any elected office Rob Reiner held, and show me when Rob Reiner ever was in the vicinity of the nuclear football, man.
No, I get it. I know. All right, Chris, I agree with you. We only got a minute, so what's your other?
The other things are when the Kennedy Center, renaming that was a big mistake.
Nah.
I think that was just antagonistic. And there was a third, and I'm drawing.
That's all right. I shrink under pressure sometimes too. Listen, you're not wrong. Thankfully, none of those things really have anything to do with the president doing his job heading our executive branch of government. I prefer he didn't do it either, but you got to keep your eye on the bigger prize. Larry O'Connor in for Mark Levin.
It's truck and SUV season at Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader. Just look at the rows of trucks and the rows of SUVs ready for winter, like a Ford F-150 XLT, yours for just $37,999. How about a 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander, just $20,999? Or a beautiful Chevy truck Z71, yours for $26,999. Rows of trucks and rows of SUVs during truck and SUV season at the veteran-owned Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader in out of Washington Street, or online at widgetautosales.com.
With the state of today's economy, it's more important than ever to invest in products that last for years to come. As the seasons shift and get cooler, make sure your closet is stocked with durable layers that stand the test of time from American Giant. American Giant's clothes work harder and are wearable season after season. Their greatest hoodie ever made is made from the highest quality materials that are cut and sewn right here in the United States. So you're investing right back in your local community. Choosing American Giant means taking a stand for American manufacturing and hardworking Americans, something other mega corporations don't care about. From fleece to knit, all in a range of colors for versatile daily wear, American Giant delivers everyday pieces designed for everyday life. Feel the difference of quality, made-to-last clothes from American Giant. Get 20% off your first order with code STAPLE20 at American-Giant.com. That's 20% off your first order at American-Giant.com with code STAPLE20.
Weight Watchers now offers access to affordable GLP-1s. It works for members like...
I'm Haley, and I've lost 100 pounds. Weight Watchers has everything I need, from weight loss medications to nutrition support and help with my side effects. It's all in one place.
Weight Watchers handles the insurance for you and offers affordable cash pay options. With our program, our members are losing more weight with expert nutrition and side effect support.
I'm Mike, and I've lost 135 pounds. Weight Watchers prescribing GLP-1 medications. It's been life-changing.
I'm Sharia, and I lost 80 pounds on Weight Watchers. I realized that it would take more than a prescription to lose weight and feel good on a GLP-1.
Better results, expert support, lose more weight, make it last.
I can't imagine doing a GLP-1 without Weight Watchers.
Get started for as low as $25 at weightwatchers.com/GLP-1. For over 60 years, we've helped millions of members find what works for them. Now, it's your turn. Weight Watchers. Watch it work.
Are you a parent of a child with disabilities who desperately needs a break? Then you need to know about Jill's House. To find out more, visit our website, jillshouse.org.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
This is a Fox News alert reaction to mass fraud in Minnesota. I'm Tom Graham. The Trump administration is taking sweeping steps aimed at cracking down on fraud in Minnesota as allegations pile up.
Allegations of daycare fraud in Minnesota has led to increased national scrutiny of how federal dollars are spent. In a video posted to social media, HHS Deputy Secretary Jim O'Neill announced the freeze of all child care payments to Minnesota. The HHS Defend the Spend protocol has also been activated. That means when any state requests child care funds,
we require a justification, receipt, or photo evidence before we make a payment.
HHS is also demanding Minnesota Governor Tim Walz audit daycare centers for data, including inspections, attendance, and licensing. Governor Walz has defended his response to fraud allegations and says an audit due next month will give a better picture of what's transpired. Bernal Scott, Fox News.
President Trump hosted the Israeli Prime Minister at Mar-a-Lago in South Florida Monday. Benjamin Netanyahu is now warning about Iran's nuclear program.
They are going back to production. As far as the nuclear program, I think they're trying to do it. I'm not sure they've decided to cross the line because I think they heed President Trump's warning.
Speaking there to Fox News, well, his case has become a lightning rod for debate over the Trump administration's deportation policies. Newly unsealed order in the criminal case against Kilmar Abrego Garcia reveals that high-level Justice Department officials pushed for his indictment, calling it a top priority. This after he was mistakenly deported and then returned to the U.S. Abrego Garcia has pleaded not guilty in a federal court case in Tennessee to charges of human smuggling. He is seeking to have the case dismissed on grounds that the prosecution is vindictive To support the argument, he's asking the government to turn over more documents. America's listening to Fox News.
Maryland is missing out on a lot of money. I'm Dina Kodiak from the Novak Motors News Desk. Good evening. During the government shutdown, Maryland doled out millions of dollars in state loans. So far, only 4% of the loans have been paid back.
We are still heartbroken that we even have to take this in the first place, because what we're trying to do now is do a job that the federal government should be doing.
Governor Wes Moore back in October announcing the $2.4 million in state loan assistance as the government shutdown dragged on.
In Maryland, we are committed to doing our job. I'd ask the President of the United States to do his.
The loans, which came due 45 days after the government reopened, have to be repaid. And so far, only $95,000 of the state money lent out has been returned. Barbara Britt, WMAL and WMAL.com. With D.C. now formally set to keep the FBI headquarters, there's not much left for Greenbelt, but regret for the one that got away.
Beyond the 7,500 jobs that would have located directly because of the FBI, literally $1 billion of investment.
Mayor Emmett Jordan says millions were spent on plans for homes, apartments, and retail adjacent to the FBI space, but he tells 7 News.
It's the back and forth that have been a problem, a challenge for Greenbelt, because possibly something else could have been well on its way.
He adds there are several projects the city has spent years waiting to finish while waiting for word on the FBI. John Matthews on WMAL and WMAL.com.
The DOJ is suing Virginia over a law that allows some illegal immigrants to get in-state tuition for state universities. The department argues the state's illegally favoring illegal immigrants over citizens. Former Governor Ralph Northam signed the law, which makes people who have lived in Virginia for at least a year eligible for in-state tuition, regardless of legal status. At that time, he said they are Virginians in every sense of the word, except for their immigration status. WMAL News Time is 8:04. I'm Dina Kodiak, and now here's your WMAL traffic and weather from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
Maryland side of the Beltway first in Prince George's County. No problems on the inner loop and on the outer loop. Different story in Montgomery County. Inner loop of the Beltway in Silver Spring, there is an accident between Georgia Avenue and Colesville Road. Traffic is jammed from Connecticut Avenue. The outer loop of the Beltway in Silver Spring, 3 right lanes are blocked at Colesville Road. Traffic is jammed from New Hampshire Avenue. In Prince George's County on Route 50, from the Beltway to the Bay Bridge, you're at the posted speed limit on the eastbound side and on the westbound side. And now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Tonight, increasing clouds, temperatures in the 20s, feels like temps in the teens. Tomorrow, potential morning flurries, otherwise partly sunny, highs in the lower 40s.
Ever wish buying a home was as easy as clicking your heels 3 times? At Northern Credit Union, we know there's no place like home. We offer first-time buyer programs with no closing costs, VA, USDA, seasonal, new construction, and many other loan options. If you're dreaming of home ownership, Northern will help you get into your new home in 3 clicks of your heels. Getting approved is quick and easy, and with our meet or beat rate guarantee, you know you're getting the lowest rate possible. Our team is here to help you along the yellow brick road to home ownership with honest advice, personalized service, and support every step of the way. Click your heels or just call or text, because at Northern, there's no place like home. Northern Credit Union, mortgage magic in the real world. Call or text 315-782-0155 or apply online at mynorthern.com. Federally insured, NCUA, equal housing opportunity.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Mark Levin.
My name's Larry O'Connor, and I'm sitting in for the great one, Mark Levin, today on this 30th day of December, and it's an honor to be here. I love sitting in for Mark this week after Christmas. He's been kind enough and generous enough to invite me to sort of close out the year a few years in a row here now, and it's always fun. And I always feel like there's really interesting stuff that goes on in this final week between Christmas and New Year. I obviously have been lucky enough to sit in for Mark all year long at various times when he's on vacation or for whatever reasons, under the weather, or he's got, well, the other day in December, he had a bigger name on the other line. He was invited to the Hanukkah celebration at the White House, and what a scene it was. So always an honor. I never take it for granted, and I always feel so privileged to be able to just for a little while share the space that the Great One has created out of nothing. I talked about how great Mark was last night, spent a little time on it. And then I forgot to mention, there was a time when 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern time was sort of no man's land in talk radio. You want to be morning drive, you want to be afternoon drive, or if you're Rush Limbaugh, you can be on anytime you want, even noon to 3, when back in the old days, no one cared to listen to the radio. 6 to 9 in the evening, that's the slot they gave Mark Levin, and he created an empire with it. Dominant. Not just 1 or 2 years, for decades, continues to be. That doesn't happen by accident. So always an honor to be sitting here. My usual gig is to do the morning show, Morning Drive, as I just mentioned, on WMAL in Washington, D.C. You can hear it anywhere in the country, of course, because of the internet. And I'd love for you to join us sometime on that program and take a listen to how we get people going first thing in the morning. And then I also do a daily noontime video streaming podcast for Town Hall Media. I've been working for Town Hall Media on and off for the last decade. A great group of people, great colleagues there. And for the last 2 years, we've been doing a live show at noon every day, focusing on the top few stories that are happening in the world around us. I hope you check that out as well. It's live, but you can also catch the podcast wherever you catch your podcasts. The show's called Larry. It's that easy to remember. And while I've got you, I do want to say a quick word for Victor Davis Hanson. If you don't know, the great Victor Davis Hanson, a brilliant man and a scholar, literally a scholar, announced abruptly on his podcast that he does through Daily Signal Heritage Foundation that he was going to have to undergo an emergency surgical procedure. He hasn't really disclosed specifically what the details are behind this procedure, but it seems to be serious. He described it as a major medical operation. That occurred yesterday, and if you have it in you, say a prayer for Victor Davis Hanson. Hopefully he sees through. We need his voice desperately. He's one of the good ones. You can't find anybody to say anything bad about Victor Davis Hanson. It's just impossible. This was what he said on his podcast as he signed off Monday. I'm having a major operation and I've been presented with a serious problem, but I'm going to do all I can to solve it. And that's all I can do, and trust in the power of prayer and faith and in a wonderful surgeon. And so please join all of us in prayer. By the way, Mark commented on.
Now I lose connection. Oh, that's on their end, fuckers.
Monday, Mark said of Victor Davis Hanson, Victor is one of the wisest, smartest, kindest, most decent people I've known. I very much look up to him. Think about that for a minute. Think about having Mark Levin say that he looks up to you. He's also a fighter. May God be with him today as he goes through this very serious surgery. And let's all please pray for his well-being. Amen to that. I wish I had more information for you. Victor Davis Hanson said on his podcast, I finally ended up going to the best medical center that I know, Stanford Med, and the people there have been absolutely wonderful. It'll work out one way or the other. Well, that's sort of the matter-of-fact, straightforward, no-nonsense commentary you expect from BDH. He, of course, is a senior fellow at the Hoover Institution, which is located in Stanford. He's also a distinguished fellow in history at Hillsdale College in Michigan, and he's been part of the Daily Signal all this year as he took his very popular podcast to that platform. He's still doing his podcast, by the way. His co-host, his guest host will be in for him. And, guest hosts are good. Give them a chance. He went on to say, I don't want to talk about my own problems, but I've had people call and say, you don't look well, you're hoarse, or you're coughing. He says it's been a 9-month odyssey because the problem I had for a non-smoker and non-drinker was a rare type and very hard to diagnose. So it's no one's fault other than my own, perhaps, for not realizing why I was not getting well. He recently had a biopsy, and he decided to proceed with the operation that's going to interrupt his work, but hopefully not for long, he said. He said, I'll be fine. At least I'll do my best for everybody. I think I have an obligation to all our readers and listeners from whom I get wonderful letters expressing support and good wishes. Our listeners and viewers are extraordinarily kind people. And that's all we know. So yeah, say a prayer for Victor Davis Hanson. I've had the opportunity to meet him and interview him many times. He's always brilliant. He always has keen observations. And he's one of the handful of principled conservative commentators who pretty early on understood Donald Trump and understood what Donald Trump meant to the nation and to the conservative movement and the newfound populist strength within that movement. And he was able to see it, understand it, comment on it, when appropriate, criticize it. But never once did he insult voters, conservatives, Americans who saw in Donald Trump a voice that had been ignored by most of the mainstream conservative commentariat. Never once did Victor Davis Hanson, even though he is an intellectual's intellectual and a historian and a brilliant observer of American politics, never once did he fall into the trap of lecturing you about how you should think and what you should believe, and God forbid, who you should vote for. The Bill Kristols of the world and the Jonah Goldbergs and the David Frenches and the Steve Hayeses and on and on and on. They always make that mistake. They always think that their job is to tell you how to think, tell you what to think, tell you how to behave, and tell you who to vote for. I approach this job very differently, and Victor Davis Hanson is one of my idols in that regard. Oftentimes, when I'm vexed because I know what I believe, I know where my principles are, I know what I think the right thing is, but oftentimes I feel like I'm going against the tide. I'm sure you feel that way too. Well, before I shoot my mouth off, before I just go with the gut when I'm not, God forbid, lecture my audience to tell you why you're wrong, I hit the pause button and I contemplate what would Victor Davis Hanson do. And thankfully, he's usually already done it. I can see a column of his, or I can check out the latest podcast, and he's had something wise to say about it. And oftentimes, I'm on the right side of it, and I just need to hone the way I communicate my ideas. And sometimes Victor Davis Hanson, and I believe this is the highest compliment you could give somebody in our business, sometimes Victor Davis Hanson makes me think a second time about what I was sure I knew. He really is one of the best we have. And I sure hope Victor Davis Hanson is in your prayers. And prayers to everybody over at Daily Signal. Rob Bluey, the guy who runs Daily Signal, he's a great guy. And Jack Fowler, Victor's co-host, who will continue the podcast while Victor Davis Hanson recovers. We need ourselves some VDH. And honestly, the great thing about his podcast is that many of them are evergreen. They're not reliant on today's headlines. You can go back and grab some of the old episodes if you're missing him while he recovers, and you'll be just as edified and just as informed. Here I go breaking those rules again. See, I've been told that when you're a radio host, you're not supposed to praise all the other guys. You're certainly not supposed to let on that you listen to other people. And God forbid you actually point your audience to another platform. You're not supposed to do that, I'm always told. But let's get real. We live in an environment where we all are doing our best to get our audience and build our audience. And frankly, as far as I'm concerned, the more people who listen to Victor Davis Hanson, well, that means there are more people who are energized and excited and informed about the conservative principles, values, and ideas that we embrace in this country. And that's good. There's no downside there. And by the way, if you enjoy what he does, well, then you probably enjoy the Mark Levin show, and that builds Mark's audience. And by the way, you might like my show, and that builds my audience. It always makes me crazy, people in the radio business or in the podcast business or the television business who think that there's this limited audience and the pie is only a certain size and it's got to be divided up. And I want my biggest piece of that pie. And I get it. We live in a free market and we're competitive and we want to be the best and we want to have the biggest audience and all that stuff. But I got to tell you, we have seen an explosion in conservative, right of center, patriotic, live stream shows, podcasts, radio shows. That's a good thing. You know, when they start shutting down podcasting platforms, that's when we've got an issue. As far as I'm concerned, the more the merrier. And if the Daily Signal and the Heritage Foundation can build their podcast audience, well, that means it's going to help build this show's podcast audience at Cumulus Media and Westwood One. And I told you I work at Town Hall Media. Well, it's going to help our podcast network at Town Hall Media. Because believe it or not, you're smart enough to be able to find the shows that you like, and you're going to go find them. And if you haven't already subscribed to Victor Davis Hansen's podcast, well, maybe today's a good day to do it. I'm Larry O'Connor. It's the Mark Levin Show.
Mark Levin. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
As a consumer, you can carry the success or failure of businesses in the palm of or their competitor. Well, my friends at Pure Talk would like to say thank you from the bottom of their hearts for choosing Pure Talk for your wireless needs. Because of you, they've had a record-breaking year. Because of your generosity through their Roundup for Charity program, they've been able to donate over $500,000 to America's Warrior Partnership, who stands on the front lines of helping to prevent veteran suicide. Your patronage has allowed Pure Talk to donate 1,000 hand-sewed Made in America flags to your fellow veterans. And when you choose Pure Talk as your wireless provider, you help Pure Talk support American jobs right here in our country. Like I said, as a consumer, you have the power to make or break companies. With the money the big wireless guys throw around on advertising, you're inundated with offers everywhere you look. So from everyone in the Pure Talk family, thank you for your trust and God bless you.
It's truck and SUV season at Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader. Just look at the rows of trucks and the rows of SUVs ready for winter, like a Ford F-150 XLT, yours for just $37,999. How about a 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander, just $20,999? Or a beautiful Chevy truck Z71, yours for $26,999. Rows of trucks and rows of SUVs during truck and SUV season at the veteran-owned Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader in out of Washington Street, or online at widgetautosales.com.
Ever wish buying a home was as easy as clicking your heels 3 times? At Northern Credit Union, we know there's no place like home. We offer first-time buyer programs with no closing costs, VA, USDA, seasonal, new construction, and many other loan options. If you're dreaming of home ownership, Northern will help you get into your new home in 3 clicks of your heels. Getting approved is quick and easy, and with our meet or beat rate guarantee, you know you're getting the lowest rate possible. Our team is here to help you along the yellow brick road to home ownership with honest advice, personalized service, and support every step of the way. Click your heels or just call or text, because at Northern, there's no place like home. Northern Credit Union, mortgage magic in the real world. Call or text 315-782-0155 or apply online at mynorthern.com. Federally insured, NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Tu camino hacia la educación para adultos empieza con AETT. Te ayudamos a encontrar los programas que mejor se adapten a tu rutina. Saber más en nyset.gov/adulted. Este es un mensaje del Departamento de Educación del Estado de Nueva York.
You know what I love about New York? It's always moving. And you need sneakers that can keep up, not just for running, but for life. That's why I've been rocking these sneakers lately. The ProGrid Omni 9, total game changer for comfort when you're on your feet all day. Or the Ride Millennium, sleek, modern, and perfect for those city walks that turn into adventures. These aren't just lifestyle shoes. They're built for the hustle, the coffee runs, the late night subway rides. Find these Saucony sneakers at your local mall or on Saucony.com.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Celebrate the holidays with Stella Rosa wines. These semi-sweet, semi-sparkling wines are the perfect pairing for all your festive favorites. Enjoy Stella Rosa Black with baked ham, or pop open a bottle of Stella Rosa Prosecco to go with a slice of apple pie. Whether you're hosting friends or toasting family, Stella Rosa makes every holiday moment special. Must be 21 plus to celebrate.
The internet, a place where your curiosity can flourish, unless online threats stop you. The internet is wonderful, but you need to protect yourself online. Protect yourself online with NordVPN. NordVPN encrypts your browsing. Its Threat Protection Pro feature helps you block malware, avoid phishing, and stop digital trackers. Get the best deal at NordVPN.com.
Away at the age of 63, it's out of nowhere, had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife, and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/Mike.
Making sense of your world.
I agree with you 100%.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
There's a lot of it out there.
Making sense of the news. WMAL. Making sense of the forecast. Because you never know what Mother Nature has in store. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
It's Larry O'Connor sitting in for the great one, Mark Levin. I got some other stories for you, including some new documents revealed about what we knew about the transgender mass murderer in Tennessee who shot up that Christian school. We're going to get to that coming up in just a bit. But some of your calls look interesting, including line 5. We're going to line 5 next on the incredible WABC. Tony in Clifton. Hey, Tony, thanks for calling in. I'm Larry O'Connor.
Larry, what a great show. You really summarized so nicely for us the illegal issue and the ties to Congress and President Trump, and the congressional districts and how this will all help in future voting if everything gets legalized properly with the voting. Yeah. But President Trump did such a great job. And he has, I give him like a 500% for doing his job, 500% plus at least 3 or 4 other presidents that haven't taken care of things.
Yeah.
But my wish, Larry, would be that for all those who had anything to do with these 20 million plus illegals coming into our country, for those in Congress, I look at Congress because it's really very pivotal. For those in Congress who had anything to do with the anti-Semitism, the invasion crimes against the federal workers, I would like to see that get treated and convicted and acknowledged for their crimes and get them the heck out of Congress. That's my wish. Speaking of what a great guy. I love Bibi Netanyahu. Nothing needs to be done with him. It's all those in Congress. And I'll leave you with that thought. You do a great job. Thank you so much.
God bless you, dear. That's very kind of you. Have a happy New Year. And that's very kind. Listen, if anybody has some wishes for the new year about making changes in Congress, good news. It's an election year. And I know a lot of these people seem like they're just stuck in incumbency and you can never get rid of them. But, stranger things have happened. I've lived to see a Speaker of the House lose his reelection bid. Tom Foley. I've seen the majority leader, Eric Cantor, lose his primary re-election bid back in 2010. So stranger things have happened. Oh, excuse me. That was 2014, I believe it was. Stranger things have happened. And also, as Tony was just saying, I just went on a bit about what could be done here if we get a decision that stops the census from apportioning congressional districts based on non-citizens and illegal immigrants that happen to live in that district. It's an outrageous, non-constitutional, unconstitutional decision that was made years ago, and that can be challenged and it should be overturned. But also, let's not forget there's two other things that's going to happen that is going to affect this midterm election coming up. Listen, if everything is locked in stone right now, and we have the exact same congressional election we just had in 2024, the Democrats will probably win. I mean, Republicans only have a 4-seat majority, and more often than not, the out party is always going to do better from the party that just won the White House. That's just cyclically how things go. It's very rare that they don't gain some seats. But here's the thing. We're not having a locked-in election like we did in 2024. Anyone who's trying to predict to you what's going to happen in the 2026 midterm elections, they're either ignorant or they're lying to you. Nobody knows what's going to happen in these elections because nobody knows what the election is even going to be yet. There are 435 elections taking place next November, 11 months from now. 10 months, really. 435 separate elections. And the congressional lines on those districts aren't even drawn completely yet. In a moment, I'll tell you 2 major things that's about to happen that will finally bring better into focus what this midterm is going to look like. And don't you count Republicans out yet. I'm Larry O'Connor. It's the Mark Levin Show.
Candles were lit on Bondi Beach by people of faith to celebrate a festival of lights, a festival from biblical times when that Jesus himself celebrated. But instead of light, there was darkness, fear, murder, hatred showing itself at a time meant for prayer and rejoicing. Times like this remind us that even with a ceasefire in Israel, Jewish people are being targeted simply because of their faith. And times like this remind us why the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews exists. To stand in the gap, providing safety and security to God's people. The International Fellowship of Christians and Jews brings together Christians and Jews to be a light to suffering Jews in Israel, the former Soviet Union, or wherever the needs are greatest. Your gift today will help provide the security that God's people so desperately need. To rush your tax-deductible gift, please call 844-866-IFCJ. That's 844-866-IFCJ. Or online at levinforthefellowship.org. That's Levin for thefellowship.org.
Ever wish buying a home was as easy as clicking your heels 3 times? At Northern Credit Union, we know there's no place like home. We offer first-time buyer programs with no closing costs, VA, USDA, seasonal, new construction, and many other loan options. If you're dreaming of home ownership, Northern will help you get into your new home in 3 clicks of your heels. Getting approved is quick and easy, and with our meet or beat rate guarantee, you know you're getting the lowest rate possible. Our team is here to help you along the yellow brick road to home ownership with honest advice, personalized service, and support every step of the way. Click your heels or just call or text, because at Northern, there's no place like home. Northern Credit Union, mortgage magic in the real world. Call or text 315-782-0155 or apply online at mynorthern.com. Federally insured, NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
The best part of traveling together isn't just where we go, but how we feel once we get there. Here, wonder sneaks into every nook and cranny of time. Laughs echo a bit longer, smiles ripple through the air. Every day in Bermuda finds its own rhythm, and every moment feels irreplaceable. Bermuda is Bermuda, one of one.
As a doctor, I may ask a family about their nutrition. If kids are turning playtime into screen time, that might be something I'd like to know. I might ask about changes to my patient's body. Have they tried smoking? Do they vape? Is my teen patient feeling overwhelmed? Any signs of anxiety? If we feel comfortable asking these questions, shouldn't we also be asking, how do you store firearms in your home?
Firearm injuries are the leading cause of death for children and teens in the U.S. It's our responsibility to have a conversation about firearm injury prevention, because questions about safety are questions about health. Find tools at agreetoagree.org/healthcare. A public service announcement brought to you by the American Medical Association and the Ad Council.
It's truck and SUV season at Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader. Just look at the rows of trucks and the rows of SUVs ready for winter, like a Ford F-150 XLT, yours for just $37,999. How about a 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander, just $20,999? Or a beautiful Chevy truck Z71, yours for $26,999.
That's not YouTube
rows of trucks
stuff
and
that
rows of
those
SUVs during truck and SUV season at the veteran-owned Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader in out of Washington Street, or online at widgetautosales.com.
80 years of Florida Blue doing good in Florida, of offering access to quality
This
health
chat
care,
has a
of putting
moderator
people
and they can
first,
stop your
investing in
comment
member
from going
benefits and wellness programs. 80 years of navigating health challenges together. Changes to health insurance are here, but our commitment to you will never change. Find support at floridablue.com/followtheblue. Florida Blue, your health solutions partner. Policies of limitations and exclusions. Florida Blue is the trade name of Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Florida, Inc.
Ever wish buying a home was as easy as clicking your heels 3 times? At Northern Credit Union, we know there's no place like home. We offer first-time buyer programs with no closing costs, VA, USDA, seasonal, new construction, and many other loan options. If you're dreaming of home ownership, Northern will help you get into your new home in 3 clicks of your heels. Getting approved is quick and easy, and with our meet or beat rate guarantee, you know you're getting the lowest rate possible. Our team is here to help you along the yellow brick road to home ownership with honest advice, personalized service, and support every step of the way. Click your heels, or just call or text, because at Northern, there's no place like home. Northern Credit Union, mortgage magic in the real world. Call or text 315-782-0155 or apply online at mynorthern.com. Federally insured, NCUA, equal housing opportunity.
Making sense of your world.
Thank you for what you do.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
You give me hope.
Making sense of the news. WMAL. Making sense of the roads. Because traffic doesn't always follow the pattern. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
Mark Levin, America's Tyranny Hunter. Call in now, 877-381-3811.
I'm Larry O'Connor. I'm filling in for Mark Levin tonight. And earlier we had a caller from California. I'm asking you what you want your want Donald Trump's resolutions. We had a caller, very nice fellow, a good guy, calling from Southern California. He said he's sick and tired of Gavin Newsom and California and the illegals and the deterioration of the infrastructure and all the rampant voter fraud and on and on and on and on. And he said, and Trump's got to do something about it. And I said, listen, explain to the rest of the country why we should care about what's going on in California and how it's deteriorating when the voters of California, time after time after time after time, keep voting for this. They know exactly who they're voting for. This is what they want. Why should Trump step in? And so we've got on line two, Alvin from Santa Ana, California, Orange County. B1 Bob, my old congressman when I lived near Santa Ana back in the day. He used to call Orange County where good Republicans go to die. So Alvin in Santa Ana, thanks for calling. I weep for the people of California, but it's not going to get fixed until Californians fix it themselves.
Yes, but I heard you say that, and I was. Is this Larry?
Yeah, go ahead, Alvin.
Okay, so I'm 62 years old. I voted Republican from the first time I voted at 18. Lived in California my whole life, with the exception of being in the Marine Corps for 3 years.
Thank you
So anyway,
for that, sir.
it's not my fault it's the fault of Gavin Newsom, who has gerrymandered this state and also who has allowed all these illegal immigrants in who vote Democrat. I know so many Republicans who vote Republican all the time.
Yeah, I know.
And believe me, if I could do something to change that, I would. But
I know. But you're outnumbered. I know you're there, and I know you're doing the right thing. Listen, I was a Republican in Southern California for decades. All right, I know. And I voted for Duke Majan was a great governor. Wilson was a great governor. Schwarzenegger was a disaster, but he was still better than Gray Davis. All right, and I was a radio host on KABC for several years during Gavin Newsom's first term. You know, in his first term, he said he was going to give free health care to illegal immigrants, and the voters voted for him anyway. He didn't gerrymander the governor's race, Alvin. There's no gerrymandering on a statewide race. You need to convince the rest of the people in this country why statewide Californians keep doubling down on this nonsense.
all the counties, all the districts are blue.
Well, not all of them, actually. There's plenty of red counties in the Inland Empire, in the Central Valley, in the Sierras. I mean, really, you're just talking about the Bay Area and LA County. But that's enough. That's where all the people are.
So all I'm saying is that if it was up to me,
I know
it would be done yesterday.
I know, Alpha.
So I kind of took a little issue when you said
I know
the voters haven't changed because
I mean the majority of the voters, not individual voters. Alvin, that's why I saw that you wanted to express that, so I wanted to get you on the air so you could have your say. I hope you have a happy new year. Tell Orange County I said hi. I miss it. I still have a kid down at UC San Diego, and I have a kid living in Whittier. But my other two kids are out elsewhere now. One of them with the military in the United States Navy. She is a submariner. And my other daughter's getting her graduate degree back east. How about that? But she was at UCLA. So listen, my roots are in Southern California. I love Southern California. It breaks my heart that California's gone that way. But I also know that the patient needs to bring something to the table here to help the problem. Although to that end, I do want to say something, because I've been thinking about this quite a bit. You know, what we saw Donald Trump do to fix the border so quickly was such an astounding and remarkable achievement. To secure the border within, 2 months of being sworn in. And ladies and gentlemen, since April, we have not had a single illegal crossing of our southern border. Did you ever think that would occur? You've been told by all the experts and the professionals and the elected officials and that it couldn't happen. Couldn't be done. I always loved the people who said, well, we can't really build a wall, but we can do something utilizing modern technology and drones and surveillance and electronic wall. And it was like, okay, or you could build a wall. And the border's been locked down. And as President Trump likes to say, you didn't need new laws, you just needed a new president. Well, I've been looking at the border issue. I've been looking at illegal immigration. I've been looking at the entire problem and what the left and sadly the organized establishment Republicans who either looked the other way or were happy to see cheap labor able to be exploited crossing our border into this country for their own greedy purposes. I've seen how this entire thing has manifest and worked itself out. And I see another issue plaguing our country right now that, in my opinion, really parallels this border crisis. And just like border security, we don't need new laws to fix this problem. We just need, maybe a new president, but more likely we need new governors. And that's what's euphemistically referred to now as the homeless crisis. And by the way, I say euphemistically because, now people like Gavin Newsom or J.B. Pritzker or Kathy Hochul in New York, Zohran Mamdani, they won't even refer to the homeless as homeless. They'll call them the unhoused. Our unhoused brothers and sisters, our unhoused neighbors, they prey on your goodwill. They prey on your charity. They prey on your emotions. And they try to tell you that you're one paycheck away from being unhoused, that there but for the grace of God go you. And I understand Christian charity. I'm Christian, I'm Catholic, and I recognize that we have a responsibility and a duty to our fellow man, no matter what their circumstances. I recognize that. That's why I'm so motivated by this issue, because the fact of the matter is our unhoused neighbors are not benefiting from woke left-wing liberal Marxist policies that allow them to stay on our city sidewalks or in our city parks, that allow them to wallow in their mental illness or their addiction or their criminal behavior. That's not compassion. That's enabling. I am compassionate for those people out of the good of my Christian heart. I want to help them. And by helping them, I want to enforce the laws that our society has set up to keep them from doing the thing that they're doing to destroy our communities and to destroy themselves. And it's so similar to the illegal immigration problem because the left did the same thing there. See, we used to have illegal aliens in this country, and they said, oh, well, that's mean. You shouldn't call them that. They're immigrants. Oh, okay, they're illegal immigrants. No, that's mean too. They're just undocumented immigrants. Or for that matter, they love calling them undocumented workers, which, by the way, it's illegal to work in this country without documentation, but that's okay. They go ahead and call them that anyway because they're admitting that they're criminals. But they change the name of the problem every 10 years because they're trying to destigmatize the crime that's being committed. That's why now you hear, oh, they're just unhoused Americans, unhoused neighbors, unhoused Californians. Before that, the euphemism was homeless. That was the feel-good, touchy-feely, let's not judge, lest we be judged ourselves there, but for the grace of God, kind of euphemistic name that we called these people. You know what we called them before homeless? We called them vagrants, criminal vagrants. Watch a movie back in black and white days of the 30s and 40s, they were called hobos. Or maybe uncharitably, they were referred to as bums. But do you know why we called them those names? Because there should be a negative stigma. People should be ashamed to live on the street. This whole idea, we don't want to put a stigma on people who are living on the street. Why not? They should be stigmatized. They should be ashamed of themselves. They're living on the sidewalks of our city. They're living in the parks where we're supposed to be bringing our children. They're filthy. They smell. They urinate and defecate in public, sometimes even worse. They commit crimes in public. We're not supposed to stigmatize people who commit crimes. But just like the border problem, when you strip away the euphemisms, this problem can be solved, and it can be solved quickly, just like the border. And just like the border, you do not need new laws. You have to have the leadership and the focus to enforce the laws that are already on the books. You go up and check whatever city you're living in. If you have a problem with the unhoused or with the homeless, you go ahead and check to see if you have any criminal vagrancy laws on the books. Almost every jurisdiction in this country has them. Criminal vagrancy. It's exactly what it sounds like. It is a criminal act to be a vagrant in public spaces, because that's not what public spaces are for. It is a public health hazard. It is also a safety hazard, because people who live in tent cities or cardboard box cities or whatever else filth that they're living in, they become not only infested with vermin and communicable diseases spread by rats and mice and lice and other horrible unsanitary creatures that again, we learned these lessons literally in the Middle Ages about what is unhealthy for a society when it comes to people living on the streets. There's nothing new here. We know that it's bad for our society. It's also bad for the people who are living in that squalor. But these tent cities, box cities, whatever you want to call them, homeless encampments, they like to call them now, as if they're in the military. They're also infested with criminals. They're infested with drug dealers and gang members and prostitutes and pimps, child traffickers.
We know that that activity is going on, and yet out of compassion, our mayors and our governors look the other way or pass laws that empower and enable this behavior. And again, the law is on the books right now. Criminal vagrancy, enforce it. And there is nothing new here. Have you ever wondered why you can go to other cities or other states and they don't have the same problem that you see in the cities and states that do have this problem? What's the difference? The economy is the same. Unemployment is the same. What is the difference? The difference is the will to enforce the law and raise standards up in your community to say, no, we will not tolerate this. It is wrong. It is not only wrong for the law-abiding taxpayers who deserve to have clean sidewalks, clean streets, and clean parks where they can take their children without stepping over hypodermic needles or an unconscious, drugged-out individual. You shouldn't have to deal with that. And when I say there's nothing new, I literally mean nothing new, because you ever heard of New York City? You know, before they elected communists to be their mayor, back in the early 90s, they elected a guy named Rudolph Giuliani, a great man and a great mayor. He inherited Ed Koch and David Dinkins' disaster in Times Square. You talk about the unhoused. You talk about drug dealers. You talk about prostitutions. You talk about crime. It was disgusting. And Rudy Giuliani had a simple message. We're going to enforce the law. And we will not tolerate people living on the streets. Here's what's going to happen. If you are encountered on the street by a police officer and you are breaking the law against vagrancy, you have three options. You go to jail. And if you don't want to go to jail, then we're going to look at what your situation is. Do you have mental health issues? We're going to put you in a facility to get treated for mental health issues. But I love the people who say, well, you can't remove these people from the streets because they're schizophrenic. Those are the last people we want on the streets for our safety and for theirs. All right, you have mental health issues, you're going to get treated. Boom, done. All right, you're an addict, drug addict, alcohol addict. All right, you're getting cleaned up. We're taking you off the street. You're going to this faith-based mission run by a church, but in cooperation with the government. They're going to clean you up in every possible way. They're going to give you a set of clothes. They're going to teach you how to do a job interview. You're going to get sober, and you're going to go get a job, and you're going to get back on your feet. And thirdly, if you're really on the streets because you're destitute and you can't afford it, okay, and there's nothing wrong with you, you don't have a health problem, you don't have an addiction problem, okay, we're going to get you a roof over your head. We'll spend the money for that and for those shelters, but it's not permanent. You got to get out there and you got to get your life together. Period. That's how you do it. And it worked. New York was transformed within 3 years. This is the next border crisis that Trump and leaders can fix. They just got to focus on it, enforce the laws, and make America great again. I'm Larry O'Connor. It's the Mark Levin Show.
Mark Levin. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
You know, folks, Americans rely on credit cards for secure payments and seamless transactions. But consumers stand to lose it all with the Durbin-Marshall credit card mandate bill. Big government mandates favor corporate megastores and allow them to choose how your credit card is processed. They might end up using untested payment networks that could jeopardize your data security and rewards. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Visit guardyourcard.com to learn more. That's guardyourcard.com, paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Ever wish buying a home was as easy as clicking your heels 3 times? At Northern Credit Union, we know there's no place like home. We offer first-time buyer programs with no closing costs, VA, USDA, seasonal, new construction, and many other loan options. If you're dreaming of home ownership, Northern will help you get into your new home in 3 clicks of your heels. Getting approved is quick and easy, and with our meet or beat rate guarantee, you know you're getting the lowest rate possible. Our team is here to help you along the yellow brick road to home ownership with honest advice, personalized service, and support every step of the way. Click your heels or just call or text, because at Northern, there's no place like home. Northern Credit Union, mortgage magic in the real world. Call or text 315-782-0155 or apply online at mynorthern.com. Federally insured, NCUA, equal housing opportunity.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
You know what I love about New York? It's always moving. And you need sneakers that can keep up. Not just for running, but for life. That's why I've been rocking these sneakers lately. The ProGrid Omni 9, total game changer for comfort when you're on your feet all day. Or the Ride Millennium, sleek, modern, and perfect for those city walks that turn into adventures. These aren't just lifestyle shoes. They're built for the hustle, the coffee runs, the late night subway rides. Find these Saucony sneakers at your local mall or on Saucony.com.
It's truck and SUV season at Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader. Just look at the rows of trucks and the rows of SUVs ready for winter, like a Ford F-150 XLT, yours for just $37,999. How about a 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander, just $20,999? Or a beautiful Chevy truck Z71, yours for $26,999. Rows of trucks and rows of SUVs during truck and SUV season at the veteran-owned Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader in out of Washington Street, or online at widgetautosales.com.
You know, I don't bring companies onto this program unless I believe and trust them, because you, my audience, you're family to me. And when it comes to talking about hard-earned savings and retirement, I take that responsibility very seriously. That's why I choose Monetary Gold. Monetary Gold is the go-to precious metals company for many Americans who are concerned about rising costs, uncertainty, and the long-term strength of the dollar. They focus on real gold and real silver, products tied to real market value. They've been doing this for 26 years. Through market crashes and recessions, economic upheavals, they've become one of the most respected names in the precious metals business. Call Monetary Gold now at 877-NOW-GOLD. That's 877-NOW-GOLD, or visit marklovesgold.com. Monetary Gold is a company built on trust and built to last. 877-NOW-GOLD, or visit marklovesgold.com. Results can vary. Always consult with your financial and tax advisors before investing.
Making sense of your world.
I can't believe this.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
And I am so with you.
Making sense of the news. WMAL. Making sense of social media. Because big tech can't be trusted. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
Hey, it's Larry O'Connor. I've been sitting in for Mark Levin here as we wind up 2025. I hope I have the opportunity to sit in this chair and get behind this microphone in 2026, but I don't count my chickens. So until we speak again, it's been great. And if you like what you hear, like I said, I've got a podcast. You can get the audio version of it or watch the video. I do it every day live at noon for Town Hall Media. And the podcast is available within, half an hour of the show going up. And also my morning radio show is also available on podcast, or you can listen to it live every morning, Monday through Friday at 5 a.m. We do 4 hours of morning radio every single day, live from your nation's capital in the blast. It's myself and the co-host Julie Gunlock and Patrice Onwuka, both from Independent Women's Forum here in the nation's capital, representing women, who don't adhere to the Nancy Pelosi way of doing things. Let's go to Sherry on line 3. Sherry, Richland, Washington. Hey, Sherry, thanks for calling in. I'm Larry O'Connor.
Thank you for everything you do.
Oh, I appreciate that. I love it.
We were only in Washington because instead of Montana, because my husband came down with Parkinson's from the COVID shot.
Oh, no. I'm so sorry, dear.
Yeah, our other daughter and his sister talked him into it. So anyway, what I want to talk about is what are we going to do about the Somalias? Oh my gosh, Trump has got to be aware of it.
Yeah. Well, listen, and I appreciate the call, Sherry. I can tell you that the FBI is sending more investigators. The DOJ is motivating their U.S. attorney in that area. These are all federal crimes, and they got to ramp up. The problem is they don't have enough U.S. attorneys right now. They're hiring. They've got to go after these people, and they've got to prosecute them because they can't rely on Keith Ellison, the Democrat corrupt attorney general in that state, and they certainly can't rely on Tim Walz. This has got to be prosecuted at the federal level, and that's what the attorney general and the president is saying they're doing. That's the best I got for you. God bless you all. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being part of what we do here. Thanks for supporting Mark Levin. Make sure you're here every day next year. It's going to be vital. I'm Larry O'Connor.
Ever wish buying a home was as easy as clicking your heels 3 times? At Northern Credit Union, we know there's no place like home. We offer first-time buyer programs with no closing costs, VA, USDA, seasonal, new construction, and many other loan options. If you're dreaming of home ownership, Northern will help you get into your new home in 3 clicks of your heels. Getting approved is quick and easy, and with our meet or beat rate guarantee, you know you're getting the lowest rate possible. Our team is here to help you along the yellow brick road to home ownership with honest advice, personalized service, and support every step of the way. Click your
chilly. No, just two phones. And I don't go in Vegas with my laptop. This little guitar solo that I play here is only about 18 minutes long. Fucking itch. Acid Trip sits there, and you know what he stares at? He's always like, there's your brain, Wiggin. It has everything in it. Pistachios, walnuts. All right, I'm hungry. That's why I'm eating these nuts. Appetizer. I love them steakhouses you go into and they got peanuts on the table and you're walking on. I like first time I walked in when I like somebody's gonna slip and slide on this. There's gonna be a lawsuit. So I'll be back later. Yeah, Minnesota doesn't look good for the Democrats. Fucking idiots.